Hello, my name is Charles Ardinger. I'll be working with you in your English 100 class as your instructor. I wanted to make this brief video presentation to introduce myself to you and to show you some aspects of the class that will help you as we continue together. I want to introduce myself so that you can get to know me a little bit, as I'll be getting to know you through your writing. So, again, my name is Charles Ardinger. Hello. I've been working here at Coastline College since 2013 in the English department, mostly teaching classes very much like the class we'll be working on together soon. As an English instructor, I consider myself an expert on English grammar. It is in fact one of my favorite subjects. I love talking about English grammar. I enjoy answering questions about it. So if you have any of that kind of question, please don't hesitate to email me so that we can have that conversation. It's something I really look forward to. Well, that's a bit about me. Let me show you a little bit about the class that we're going to be working in together. So this is the front page, or landing page, you might say, of our class. You'll notice it has the name of the class and its number and all that important information so that you know that you're in the class that you expect to be in. There are some aspects to this class that you should know about as we continue. So let me start by showing you on this front page that on the right side and also down the middle of the page, there is a schedule of events in the class. For example, on September 2nd, you'll be turning in a discussion, and you'll learn more about that as you continue in the class. Then on the 3rd, some other stuff is due. And so whenever you want to know what you should be doing in the class, you can simply look at the front page, look at the date, and see what is due near when you are, so that you can manage your time more easily, which, in my opinion, is an important skill in online classes. So we help you in that way. I also want to point out, again, on the front page, at the top here, announcements. I will be making announcements to the class at least once a week on subjects that I see of interest, subjects of grammar or of composition, things the students are doing or not doing that I think should be discussed. And so to look at these announcements, the easiest way to go is to click on the title of a particular announcement, like this one. Doing that leads you to a page that looks like this, where you have this announcement, which you can pause and read at your leisure. It says pretty much what I've just said to you. Next, I'd like to bring up another way that we can communicate. The main way, in fact, that we'll communicate through class, which is through your submitting assignments and me grading them and making comments on them. And the way to get those comments, the way to see those grades, is to click this link that says, yes, grades. Doing that leads you to a page that looks like this, which has the titles of all the assignments on it. To look at a particular assignment, such as this one, the assignment from Module 1, you click on the title, like this, and you'll see a page that looks like this. Notice on this page some particular aspects. The first thing you'll see is a comment. I will be making a comment like this one on everything you turn in. It will be advice for ways that you can refine your writing to make it more academic, ways that I read your writing that I didn't understand, that you can clarify, and things like that. Again, I will be making this comment on all your submissions. Also, I grade your submissions through a rubric, and you can look at that rubric by clicking this link that says Show Rubric. A rubric is a list of criteria by which I'm judging your work, things that the work needs to contain to get a good grade. For example, you'll notice in this rubric, I look for the paragraph to follow a certain pattern. I look for an outline that follows a certain pattern. and I look for a certain word length, and I look for academic grammatical expectations. And you can see in this rubric that the student has done pretty well in 3 of those categories, but didn't quite make his work long enough. So that's something that student can work on more for next time. To stop looking at the rubric, click this X. And finally, there's this link that says View Feedback. Clicking that link gets you a small copy of your submission, the typed up piece of work that you submitted to the class. I can comment on that submission directly by making annotations, such as this one or this one. Those annotations work as if I'm writing on your paper with a pen. I write between typed lines to make comments about academic grammar, ways that you can refine your writing to make it more academically, what's the word I'm looking for? Grammatical. And I can also make highlighted annotations, which lead to a text box that looks like this, for comments that take longer than I have to type between the lines. And so, by using this feedback, which you can make go away by pressing this X, by looking at the rubric, and by looking at these comments, you can get the most out of your submissions by getting feedback from me about how to refine them and revise them so that they become even more accurate and communicate more effectively. Now that's one way in which we have to communicate, but I'd like to also point out another way that we can communicate. On Thursdays, I have instituted what I call student visiting time. Basically, I have an office in a Zoom room, which you can join on Thursdays between 1830 and 2000, or between 6:30 and 8 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays. That's a chance for us to communicate about pretty much anything. A chance to chat, a chance to converse. I'll be in that virtual office, and you can join me there to talk about what's going on in the class, or what's going on in your mind, or anything you'd like to. This does offer some extra credit points, which you can read more about in the syllabus. And also, it's a chance to interact with me as if I were an actual human and not just a college instructor, which I think is good for all of us. These online classes can lead to a certain amount of distance between instructor and student, and I'd like to try to close that distance a little bit through these student visiting time meetings. To access the meetings, simply click this link on our front page, and that will lead you to my Zoom office. If I'm not there, wait. I will probably arrive. If I am there, then yeah, we can chat, and that will be good. And finally, I'd like to point out these optional grammar refresher modules that I've created. These are automated quizzes that you can take at your own pace, in your own time, and looking at them and the results will tell you some things about grammar issues that you may be having. Now, you'll notice that these refresher modules involve commas and sentence variety and ing words and verb forms and sentence forms. If you can think of another grammar issue that you would like to discuss that you think would be useful for the whole class to consider, then please let me know about it, and I can add it to this list. I'd like to make this class as responsive to you and what you need as I possibly can. And those are the aspects that I wanted to show you of our class on this front page. If you have any questions, or you see anything here that doesn't make sense, again, please feel free to email me. You have my address, and I do respond to any email within about 24 to 48 hours. So I very much look forward to hearing from you. And I'd like to finish this video presentation by saying thank you. I first want to say thank you because we could not have a class without you. Without a student, there's no need for this kind of class, or really any kind of class. So I appreciate your participation and your continuing to let me have a job. Thank you very much. And also, thank you for the questions that you'll be asking as we continue. I can't really operate this class without your participation, without your feedback. I make perfect sense to myself all the time, but I don't know if I'm making sense to you if you don't ask me questions about what I'm saying. So I very much appreciate that as we continue. And finally, thank you for your time and attention.